Hey everyone, I'm Dan and I'm building this Expedition truck. So today I'm going to start working on the windows for the doors. I've got two octagonal windows in the front door, one in the front door, one in the back door, and I want to make them like stained glass windows, sort of like a LED light style window, although I'm going to be using aluminium and acrylic sheet. So thank you very much for watching, and let's get into it. I've already started working on this and I've welded up the aluminium window frame. So this is the frame for the front door, there's the back door. And I'm just using 20 by 20 by 3mm aluminium T-section. So it's got an edge around the outside that'll glue onto the frame of the truck and that'll hold it there and waterproof it, and then the edge on the inside will be able to glue the acrylic sheet to that. And what I'm doing to create the design that's going to be inside it is I'm just drawing it on this 3mm aluminium sheet, and I'm going to cut it out of this. So this is the design that I've come up with for the first window. It's basically just, what I did was just triangulated the octagon, dissected it, and I drew one square, kind of, I don't know if you'd call that vertically, one square like that, and then another square inside on the next line, and then another square on the next line, then I'll put another octagon inside that. I'm going to cut all these inside pieces out, and it'll be just these lines left, and then I'll paint that black and we'll glue the acrylic sheet on the inside of that, different colours. So there'll be a little window here, and then this square will be a different colour, this square will be a different colour, that square, and then the bigger octagon. The front door is pretty much sorted, the design of it, so now I'm going to go and design the back door, and then we'll cut the shapes out and we'll start welding them into the frame. This is what I've come up with. It took quite a long time and many attempts, but I decided that I just had to choose one, and this is it. So I've drawn it out on the aluminium. I've got that one there, and then the one for the front doors here. I've drilled some holes in it. Now I'm going to go and cut it out with a jigsaw. And a good tip, when you're cutting out things aluminium with anything, spray it with some silicone spray first, because it makes it cut a lot better and the tool slides along the surface a lot easier. I've got the windows welded up and I'm pretty happy with them. I've run over them with a flap wheel, cleaned them up enough. This is the one for the back door, and this is the one for the front door. So now what I'm going to do is run over them with a file. There's some sharp edges, and then I'll sand it just to rough it up, so for the etch primer to stick to, and then we'll clean it all up and we will paint them. This is the reason why it's taking so long to build this, because every little component that I make, I kind of go overboard in some way, and you know, I spend like a week building these windows, and that's been happening the whole way through. All right, the windows are painted and I'm quite happy with how they've come up. I'll give you a look. The way I'm going to do this, I originally thought to have individual pieces of acrylic sheet, and then that would pose a lot of problems with water leaking. But I went and spoke to a sign writer who's just up on the corner, and he said they can print straight onto the acrylic sheet. So once I've worked out the colours, I'll cut a piece of acrylic sheet out and we'll go up there and get them to print the colours onto it. So it is developing. It's a real process, these windows. I don't know how long I've been working on them for now, at least a week. Okay, we're 3 days into the future now, and over the last couple of days I've been experimenting with colours for the front window and the back window. With the back door, I found that I preferred a colour gradient rather than individual colours. So starting from dark, going to light, and then back to dark. And because I felt like individual colours, like say this one, looks a little bit too court jester-ish in some way. It reminds me of one of those soft hats that you get from your local show. You know the ones that come in a show bag? Something like that. For the front one, I found that individual colours looked a little bit too play school. It reminded me of a play school window. Repeating colours kind of draw your eye in more, I think. It looks a bit better. Either that or I'll try a gradient with the front one as well. So that's where the windows are at. I've just been trying to decide. I'm giving myself a little bit of time to sleep on it, and then I just need to take the acrylic sheet up and get it painted, basically. And in the meantime, I've been painting I'm going to paint the inside of the doors. So I've taken the doors off because I want to just put the windows in, put the doors on, put the latches on, and just have them completely finished. I've just got to finish taping them up, and then I'm going to spray them. I've put 2 coats on the doors now, and I'm just going over them with 1200 wet and dry. This is the last time. Looking good, nice colour in them. I've used a satin varnish, which is a low sheen because I don't want them to be too glossy. And I've got my wet and dry here. And I'm just going over it just to take the little bumps and the little air bubbles and stuff out of it, just before we give it the last coat.
Happy, Leon?
Okay, I've got both the doors in. Yesterday, I had a monumental struggle with this front door, trying to get it to lift up and open without any issues. I don't know how, but somewhere in between taking it off and painting it and putting it back on, things had changed, and it wasn't sliding up and down properly, and it wasn't sitting properly in the door jamb, in the door hole, and it was hitting the edge as it swung in and out. So I spent pretty much all day yesterday struggling with that. I didn't film any of it because I was so intensely focused on what I was doing, but in the future I'll try and film those kind of struggles that I have, because that's probably where all the drama happens. And I've put the windows in. Now I've decided that I'm going to hold off on the glazing of them for now. I know that's a bit of an anticlimax, I'm sorry about that, but I think it'll be better to wait until I've done the external cladding to decide ultimately what colours I want to be in there. So that's something to look forward to. So I'll just give you a look and show you how this door works. So this is, the roof's down at the moment, and what I've done in here is I've put in a 30 kilo rare earth magnet. I just flush mounted it on the door there. And I just put a little block of steel up inside the door jamb. So that's basically works as a catch. So when we close the door, it contacts the magnet and that holds it closed. And it needs a nice little tug to get it open. Okay, now I'll lift the roof and I'll show you one of my other favourite things about this door. One of the things that I really like about this door is that I've made it so the grain, the colour of the grain in the middle continues up through both doors. And that, I think, is really nice. Very beautiful touch. Alright, we'll go and have a look inside, see how they look from the inside. So, here's the back door. Very nice. Got the same setup here with a rare earth magnet. Give it a little shove and it'll open up. And here's the front door. That's it for this week. Now that the doors are finally on, I'm going to move on to the next phase of this project, which is going to be installing the slide out room. So there's a fair bit to do with this. We need to clad the whole thing. I've got to build some windows for this as well. mount it, install it, get it moving in and out and up and down. I've got to work out some kind of support leg for it. So this is going to be a whole new adventure on its own, and this next phase will be quite interesting, I think. So thank you all very much for watching and continuing to watch these videos, and see you again soon.